This Saturday is July 25th, and it'll be the 1-year anniversary of your accident. Sister Anna, would you please start by telling us how did your day begin 1 year ago on July 25th?
Exactly July 25 to 2014. We just came from work with Aileen, and then supposedly we will go to the dentist, both of us. But since I will go with Sister Michelle to look for a place for the sisterhood. So we decided to split. Aileen will go to the dentist and I will go to Sister Michelle. So, and then during that time, I remember that they trying to call me, Stephen trying to call me if I will go with them, and then I told him that just give me 10 minutes or 15 minutes, something like that. And then I didn't know that they are waiting inside the house during that time. So I just surprised that they are there, and then okay, let's go.
Oh, okay.
Let's move.
Okay. And First Lady Michelle, how did your day begin that morning? I know you had a busy day, but what do you recall of that day 1 year ago?
On that day, I was getting ready to have 2 luncheons, one for 557 and one with the general's wife. And I was trying to find outfits to put on, and so my bed looked like a disaster because I couldn't find anything to fit. So I was like, oh, it doesn't matter, I'll clean this up later. So I had all clothes all over the room, and finally found something I could put on and go to the lunch. So I went to the luncheons, and I was like, okay. Once that was over, I came to the church to meet up with Eileen, Arlene, Anna, and Zach, and we got in the van and we took off.
So, on July 25th, 2014, how did your day begin?
If I remember it right, I think I just stayed the whole day, the whole morning in the house, and in the afternoon when it's time for me to fetch up Isaac at his school, then that's the time I came up, yes,
Okay.
and just waited for Isaac to come to me after his school.
Okay.
I think there's something strange that I could feel about that day, and you know, I was waiting for my husband, the first lady, and the rest of the group, and waiting for them to arrive. It's kind of like that day was kind of dragging.
So
That day
it's
was kind of dragging, yeah.
different from all other days.
Yeah, kind of dragging. So.
And what about you, Steve? How did your day begin?
I think it was when, old air conditioner in the back room of our church, was taken by someone, and it was when I, installed, new one, new AC.
This is the day you were working in the church.
Yeah, there. So,
Okay.
and after that, I met Sister Michelle. I was waiting for Sister Michelle to come, and and we decided to travel around, near near Asan Seawall, like that, Asan Seawall.
Yes.
So we decided to go, and
So with that, then moments leading up to the fatal crash of the other two occupants of the other vehicle, what do you remember prior to? I know you were mentioning that Michelle mentioned something to you, just moments prior to the crash. Can you explain that?
Sister Michelle told me to put on the seatbelt. I was saved by that.
Now that was moments. That was maybe minutes before the crash.
No, Pastor. Why? Right after I picked up my wife and my son here in Anjum, I had to stop somewhere near the school, Isaac School, because the traffic light was red. So that was when Sister Michelle told me to put on the seatbelt, and then I put on the seatbelt, and then they could have saved me.
No, you normally don't drive with a seatbelt, correct? Because it's not required by law here to drive with seatbelts.
No, it's not required. It is required, but I don't usually put on the seatbelt. So while I was driving, we just I just felt like I didn't stop where we were supposed to go back to Pyeongtaek, but I wanted to show other places too. So I think I made a U-turn, instead of going back to where we came from. I just drove somewhere so that Sister Michelle can consider going there, like consider other options too for for the sisterhood meeting. So but I felt something when I decided to make a U-turn. I think it was Holy Spirit to make me feel strange, but I just ignored, and then I just made a U-turn, and I just went straight. And while I was driving,
Take me back on that day, just moments before the crash. Was there something about the day, some kind of indicator, some kind of warning, or anything that would give you some type of, some type of insight that something might happen that day? Or what happened? What was in your mind? What was going on in the van right before the crash?
It's like I don't feel anything that might happen, something like that. It's like a normal day. It's like our goal is like to see the next phase to sisterhood. I don't see anything that it might have happened, anything to us. I don't see anything.
Same with you, Mr. Joe? Or?
Yes, it was just a normal day. It was the only thing that I guess you could think is when Stephen got in the car before we started, is I was playing with him and saying, "Man, do Koreans ever buckle up?" So we were just playing around, and he looked at me and he just buckled his seatbelt, and then we took off. Other than that, leading up to it, we picked up Zach from school, and that's pretty much the last thing I remember, is picking up Zach and Arlene from school. We riding in the van, and then I remember nothing else.
Okay, so. Tell us about your injuries. What injuries did you suffer in the car accident?
I had 3 ribs broken on the left, and between my ribs I had fracture, and my fingers, the 3 fingers in the middle on my left hand were broken, and my right leg also not really broken, but it was cut open and it was bleeding, and I couldn't walk properly, and I couldn't fold my right leg, so I was kind of limping, or I couldn't walk properly.
Okay. Stephen,
Yeah,
what
right,
injuries did you suffer, sir?
I had only one rib broken and nothing else. The driver, I wasn't I was the least injured, and I felt sorry for everyone, and I could have listened to what my heart says to me, and I think it was Holy Spirit who spoke to me, not to go around, but I ignored it, and
So, what injuries?
I incurred, my left big toe was broken, and then my left right leg, my knee had a huge lacerations and scars down the leg. My ankle had a huge laceration on it, and I guess inside my hip, I think my sternum, my sacrum, they said was crushed or something. And
Two
then
fractured hips, and pelvic was broken.
I guess a bloodshot eye, shield.
Okay. Sister Anna, what injuries? If I recall correctly, I know that you had lacerations in the intestines.
Yeah. The small intestine ruptured, and then they cut 10 centimeters from the small intestine, and then they found out that the spinal column lumbar 4 and 5 fractured, and then during that time my lungs collapsed, and then my right hand, small and ring finger, is what fractured. The bone is like really separate, something like that. So they need to put cast first before they get another surgery, something like that.
How's your recovery process coming? I know that both of you are very active and you're back, and it took you a little while to get back, but tell me about your recovery process. How's the rehab and all that going?
Well, for me, it's like it took a lot of patience to have to recover. It's like in ICU, I've been in ICU for 10 days, and then after that they put me in a recovery room for 10 days, and then after that they transferred me to the hospital. So it's near to Campos. So after 10 days, they discharged me, and then aside from that, I mean, they put temporary colostomy to me. So after, from the day of surgery, they will put it back after 3 months. So I will need to go back to the hospital after 3 months. So it's like the schedule is like the accident is July 25, so it's October 25. The surgery performed, second surgery performed is like October 27. During the, and then it took us like 7 hours on my second surgery. Said that I have a hernia. During that time, they fixed it.
Right.
They fixed it. And then the first surgery is like the small intestine is not good, something like that. They need to fix again. So from the first surgery, they cut 10. The second surgery, they cut another 5 centimeters of my intestine.
Scar tissue.
But God grace is successful,
Amen.
and it's really a miracle for me. It's really a miracle.
First Lady Michelle, with that, I know that you had some extensive injuries as well, and of course, helping you through your recovery. Tell how that experience has been. Confined to bed, learning to walk again, taking advantage of the things that we take for granted. Please tell us, your experience with that.
Yes. Well, being in the hospital, by me not knowing anything, just being pretty much laying in the bed for 40 plus days without moving, I didn't know the extent of my injuries and what was wrong with me. So pretty much it's just like, I just know I'm in pain, I can't move, and I'm stuck. So I think what it really hit me was the day I left the hospital, and I couldn't move, I couldn't walk, I couldn't do anything. And on the way home, it finally hit me that I can't move. I can't do things that I used to could do. I knew I had pains and everything, but coming home and getting on the couch and laying on the couch and everything, I'm just like a baby starting over. I can't walk, I can't go to the bathroom by myself, I can't do anything except move the upper half. And so going through that process of it kind of humbled you at first, and my mother had to do everything, wash me, and whenever I wanted to go to the restroom, somebody had to pick me up and take me. But then once I started to gradually do these things, it was just, I had moments of being mad at everybody who could walk and move, and I couldn't. But it was just a process of learning to walk again, being able to learn to stand up again, learn how to get out of a chair without, it was just like teaching a kid how to do all these things over. And so slowly, I'm able to do these things, but there are still things I can't do on my own now. Like I can't really go up a stair unless I'm holding something, or walk long distance, jump or run. So it's still a process, but I pray God that I'm walking. So that's just a blessing right there, to be able to walk. Because the last appointment I went to, the doctor who fixed my pelvic, he was like, when I went in there to look, I didn't think you were gonna ever walk again. He said, but I can say that now because you are walking. He said everything was all crushed up. So I was like, well, it's a blessing. He's telling me now, but he never told me at the time that he didn't think I was gonna be able to walk.
Looking back over a year, coming from what you just shared, not being able to do anything, tell us what it is, what you can do now.
Well, now I can touch my feet and tie my own shoes. I was able to do that like 2 months ago to when I started CrossFit, because I was going to physical therapy, and I guess they were working different parts of my body, whereas CrossFit started working other muscles, which made me be able to tie my shoe and squat a little bit. So
now when people hear you say you go to CrossFit, explain to them exactly what you do at CrossFit versus what a regular workout of the day would be.
Well, my great instructor, Angela, she modifies the whole class for me. Whereas other people, you know, they're doing weights and I'm doing like a little bar. But anything that they do, she modifies for whatever my body can do. If I can't jump rope like they do, so I do step-ups. And I can't run, so I do the walking. So anything you pretty much I can't do, she modifies to fit for me.
I feel great, and no more pain, and I feel like, you know, I'm okay. I just, you know, I'm okay.
God is good.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Sis, how are you feeling 1 year later?
I think I got back to normal, except for my ring finger on the left hand. I had 3 operations for this finger, so I'm still on the process of recovering, but it's kind of a minor thing. But you know, I'm still expecting for a miracle to happen. You know, even though the doctor would say I wouldn't fold it anymore, I will not be able to fold it anymore, but God has the final say, you know.
One last thing. If you would look into that camera and speak to individuals that's recovering, that's overcoming maybe sickness or disease, and offer them a word of encouragement. If you would, what would you say to them?
Hello. I just want to say God is with you all the time, and God has purpose for you, and just hang in there. You'll be fine, and God has taught us something through this accident. So just hang in there and always be thankful for God, what He has done for you and for everyone involved in the accident. We have seen amazing miracles that God has done for us through this accident. So just hang in there. We love you.
Any final words?
To everyone who's suffering from a kind of sickness or undergoing a tragic situation, that's not the end. It's only temporary, and God is able to get you out of that situation. Just fight a good fight of faith. Fight a good fight of faith. God will complete what He has started in your life. And just look up. God is our hope. God is our life. You know, God is able to do things beyond our imagination. And I believe He will heal you. God will heal you, and God will deliver you out of that situation.
Amen.
For those who are in sick or having some problems with their lives, just keep on praying. Praying is the best medicine. Whatever we do, it is a medicine that nobody can give except the God. So it's like just believe, have faith, a lot of faith, and everything will be alright. God is so faithful to us.
Yes.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, He is. First Lady, preach to them and tell them of the goodness of Jesus, and what would you do and say to encourage them?
Only thing, pretty much for me, is the scripture. God doesn't put any more on you than you can bear. And you know, people always say that, and it was hard for me to say it, but evidently, you know, I was able to go through all the injuries and still find other injuries after I get out of the hospital, blood clots, and I was like, oh God, I didn't think I could have any more, coming. But the famous thing for me is God cannot put no more on me than I can bear, and so I just every morning pray and keep on pushing. That's how I do my day every day.
Grace and peace, beloved. I'm Pastor Drayton Gilliard, and the video you just watched and the testimony that you've seen from the awesome and miraculous 5 that was in that van on 1 year ago that almost took their lives, but did take the lives of the other passenger. You see their awesome testimony. So it's a bittersweet moment for us because we hate the fact that a drunken driver and his passenger lost their life, but at the same time we celebrate the fact that our awesome Miracle 5 survived the vehicle accident with the injuries as you heard described. Most of them, especially Sister Anna and Sister Michelle, is life-threatening. But nonetheless, I tell you this testimony that when I got the call, I was leaving work, and I got a frantic call from Brother Stephen about the accident, and I called Sister Eileen, and she was calling me to confirm. And one of the things that we first did was meet up with the believers of the church, and we met at the church and we began to pray until we could find out the locations of the hospital. While we were waiting on confirmation as to where they were and how they were doing, I recall everyone pacing the sanctuary floor and was sending up prayers to God and interceding on their behalf as Sister Anna was in surgery and Michelle was being transported to another hospital. I'm later told that when both Sister Michelle and Sister Anna went to Danjin Hospital, one of the surgeons, the trauma surgeon, was already in surgery, and their hospital was not, it's a level 2, so it wasn't as big as Dan Cook, so they had room for one more patient in the emergency trauma center. And Sister Anna, because of the laceration of her intestines, she was bleeding internally. They decided to take her take her right into surgery. Meanwhile, while Michelle was sitting on a gurney, they decided to transport her to Dan Cook University Hospital, which is about a little over an hour away, by ground transport via ambulance. And during that time, God sustained her life until she arrived there, and they were able to do an assessment as to what was wrong with her and figured out and to apply the proper medical attention that she needed. When we arrived, we found her there. She was slightly dazed and confused, and she was not totally sure as to what happened. She knew that she was in a lot of pain. But it just goes to show that the hand of God being upon their life sustained them, and that despite their injuries, despite their state of mind, despite all of the obstacles that they had to overcome in order to get the medical attention that they needed, God was with them, and He stayed the hand of death, and we're eternally grateful for that. Even today, as they're still recovering, we ask that you continue to pray for them, but more importantly, to celebrate